especially if you're hiring private tutors in Germany or Switzerland. They are absolutely insanely expensive. You can account more than 100 euros, 150 euros per hour. Nobody is coming to help you out. Nobody is going to save you. Nobody is going to spoon feed you the German language. The more serious you are in wanting to learn it, the better it is for you, and you will come forward. And this applies to everything, not just to learn the German language. Hello friends, welcome back to a new video, and in this video I want to discuss the 4 ways through which you can learn the German language. My name is Dr. Gans and I'm a senior consultant working in Switzerland, and I have over 15 years of experience having worked in Germany and Switzerland in the medical field. So the first way is, and in my opinion the absolute best way to learn the German language, is to hire a private tutor one-on-one. This is the way I started learning German. I was lucky that I found a private tutor and he was within my budget. So what are the advantages of having a private tutor? Biggest advantage is that you can be fast. The pathway that I suggest is to get to B2 as quickly as possible. So if you have a private tutor, you can discuss with him and agree on a pace on how to go through the levels A1, A2, B1 as quickly as possible. Also, he can assess how good you are at any point. Also, you can practice spoken German with him. Nobody is interested in your A2 or A1 certificate. B1, yes, it is important because after B1 you can send in your approbation form already. B2 is even better. So your aim should be to get through A1, A2 and B1 as quickly as possible and try to get to B2. I won't suggest taking the A1 or the A2 exam. And with the private tutor, you can solve the questions, you can discuss the finer details. By private tutor, I mean you should be sitting with him and doing it. Also, you can discuss the time period as to how much you want to do per day. For example, I used to discuss with my private tutor as to how many hours of classes we would have per day. And we would sit, we would discuss things in details, the grammar in details, we would solve the questions together, and this helped me immensely, especially to understand the finer details. The problem with this approach is that it is expensive, especially if you're hiring private tutors in Germany or Switzerland. They are absolutely insanely expensive. You can account more than 100 euros, 150 euros per hour. In Switzerland, it's definitely around 150 to 200 euros per hour. Just think of that. It's very, very expensive. If you find somebody in your home country, that is great. Then second way to learn German is to register with one of the language schools. By that I mean Goethe, which is the most famous of them. DELK, you have the Österreichische Sprachdiplom, the Austrian language school, or whatever. So these are also good in the sense that you are learning German in a group. You get to discuss with others, you can discuss with the teacher. You also have intensive courses, and they make you do a lot of exercises to get better and better. So online language classes are good. In my opinion, the private tutor method is much better than this because you can adjust the pace of learning. You can be much faster. Whereas in language schools, they give a fixed period. For example, they would say intensive courses of 6 weeks or 8 weeks or whatever it is. And they only give you a particular time, that is evening from 5 to 8 or whatever it is. Because if you want to get on with this journey and be here as quickly as possible, you have to dedicate a lot of time to learning German. You cannot do it half-heartedly, because learning German is such an important aspect. You have to dedicate a lot of hours. You have to immerse yourself doing a lot of exercises, solving a lot of practice papers. And even though language schools are great, as Goethe is great, and you can discuss with your colleagues, you can solve a lot of papers, and more importantly, you can compare yourself as to how good you are, compared to others. Are you good enough? Are you doing well in your practice tests that they keep conducting? So this is a good way of knowing how good you are, if you need to work harder. The problem is, like I said, it's a fixed the hours are fixed in a day, and they are not flexible, and secondly, they are very expensive as well for what they offer. For example, I feel they're too expensive. I mean, they're not as expensive as a private tutor, but still they are quite expensive. So especially if you're on a tight time budget, that is, you want to get to B1 or B2 within 6 to 8 months, in this case, the language schools can delay your progress. And the problem is also, the language schools insist that you take your A1, A2, B1 exams. This takes even more time, because in language schools you cannot start A2 courses without producing your A1 certificate. You know what I mean? They expect you to have your A1 certificate before you start your A2 course. Whereas with a private tutor, you can study at a stretch from A1 to B1, then take the B1 exam and start with B. You don't have to take the A1 and A2 exam, if that makes sense. So this is one of the big disadvantages I feel of language classes. But I would suggest that, if you can afford a private tutor, at least do B1 with a private tutor, take the B1 exam, and then hire a private tutor for B2 or join one of the language classes for B2. So this way you have reached B1 quickly, you can pass the B1 exam, and with the B1 certificate, because they are not going to ask you for the A1 or A2 certificate, they just want the B1 certificate. With a private tutor, of course, you can do until the end of B2 and just take the B2 exam. So this is the third way is through an online tutor. Now, there are several online German teachers. They can teach you one-on-one or in a group. Like, you can form a group yourself and you can split the cost. Like, your friends could be in another part of the country or in another part of the world, and a teacher from Germany or Switzerland or Austria could teach you German online. There are so many platforms for this. This is also good, but I was not a big fan of this, simply because the connection with the teacher is missing here. They come at a particular hour and they take classes. They don't know whether you're practicing enough, whether you're doing enough exercises by yourself. They're not able to check your progress appropriately. Of course, they will teach you the grammar, whatever topic is required for that particular class, they will teach that, but they can't follow up well with you. They can't check if you're doing it well. And the intensity is missing, the personal touch with the teacher is missing, and for the cost, that how much it's going to cost you, the returns are not as much as I would have liked. This is my personal opinion. Of course, other people would have had other experiences, but this is my opinion. So this is another way. I mean, there are several platforms offering you these online language courses. If that is within your budget, and if you're serious, then this is a good pathway, I feel, to be quick. If your aim is to be quick. And also another thing is, through this pathway, you have to be serious of your journey. You have to take a lot of personal responsibility. I see this so often. I mean, I'm not being patronizing, even I am like this, is that you think somebody else will solve the problem for you. When you're learning the German language, you think it's a teacher's responsibility to make you learn German. There needs to be a mental switch. You have to make sure that you learn German, not somebody put the responsibility on someone else. I see this a lot in the questions that are asked to me on Instagram as well. People are like, should I decide on USA or should I decide on Europe? Like, why are you expecting others to take the decision for you? I'll tell you why. It's because you don't want to take any personal responsibility. I tell you, go for Europe. And if you don't succeed in it, you always have somebody to blame. He was the one who suggested. This is the reason, So I suggest, take personal responsibility. Say, yes, I'm going to do this and I will do it no matter what it takes. Put your foot down, take personal responsibility. You are the one who is responsible for your own life. Nobody is coming to save you. You have to save yourself. Nobody is coming to help you out. Nobody is going to save you. Nobody is going to spoon feed you the German language. The more serious you are in wanting to learn it, the better it is for you. You will come forward, and this applies to everything, not just to learn the German language. And the fourth way is through an online course. There are several platforms who have online courses. What are these? These are pre-recorded courses of covering all the topics of A1, A2, B1, B2. How does this work? Basically, with the online course, you already have pre-recorded classes, like a class on preposition, a class on dative, a class on forming sentences, or whatever. And you do this at your own pace. This is good if you are somebody who's taking a lot of personal responsibility and want the journey fast, and in this case, you have all the classes in front of you, A1 to B2. Everything depends on you now. You put in the hours, you sit and go through the classes, you see what are the topics. Okay, today I will do prepositions and dative. And you sit and listen to the classes, solve the questions yourself and see how good you are. You're not good? Go through the classes again and solve the questions. So this way you do it intensively yourself. But the big thing with this is the onus is completely on you. If you're not serious, this will not work. If you are somebody who is lazy, who is, I will learn German, I have classes today at 3 p.m. Till then I will just chill out. No, it's for somebody who has to be serious in this journey. Let's say you are somebody who wants to reach B2 within 6 to 8 months. This is perfect for you, because in this case, you have taken the personal responsibility. You're willing to put 8 to 10 to 12 hours per day in learning German. Is nothing better than online courses. It is cheap. You can, decide on your own. The problem with this is it will not work if you don't take personal responsibility and you're not serious with this journey. So, like I said, in my opinion, the best is through a private tutor. In my opinion, the absolute best, a private tutor with whom you can sit and solve the questions, discuss the fine aspects of grammar and things like this, solve it, and the teacher can judge how good you are. If you're somebody who is looking for online classes, my own German course will be out very soon. It's completed from the whole thing with 3 solved A1 exam papers as well. I will be preparing the A2, B1 and B2 papers as well, exam papers as well, solve the exam papers which will be put into the course as well. The A1 to B2, that is A1, A2, B1, B2, all my 4 language courses are ready. Finally, I have them ready. I have them ready since a couple of weeks now. I'm just in the process of uploading them, and you will have access to my online language courses with which I have covered all the topics that are under A1 to B2. So I'll be posting the link soon for this, and if any one of you is interested in this, you can join the community through which you will have access to these courses, complete step-by-step pathway from zero to working in Germany within 1 year. What are the forms you should fill? What are the next steps you should take? Where should you send the forms? What is Germany like? How is it to buy a house in Germany, to buy a car in Germany, to rent a house in Germany, to buy a house in Germany? How much is the salary for doctors? How much are the taxes? How to apply for jobs, how to write your CV. Everything is covered in this course. It's an extremely detailed course of I don't know how many hours, I think 20 to 30 hours. So you'll have access even to this course. And in the community, I will be uploading guest German classes by other German teachers from Germany and Switzerland who will be teaching certain classes which I will upload. And you will have courses on zero to working in Germany within 1 year for pharmacists and for dentists as well. So I will be uploading all of this in my community, which will be coming very soon. So if you're interested, go to the community, which I will be posting very soon. I'll update it very soon on my YouTube video. So I hope this video is useful, and see you in the next video. If you have any questions, you can post them on my Instagram, and see you in the next video. Bye.